This field is right in the middle of Kansas, so it is basically no elevation gain. But luckily, it's only half the story. We have a much more promising zone out back. It has hills, a valley, and even a marsh. So to say building trails out here as opposed to the front would be better would be an understatement. But first, we have to get there. Today we will begin work on a trail which runs along the edge of the property, snaking its way up to Pomifera Point, the highest elevation we have, where all our serious trails will start. First, I need to flag the trail. As I do, you may notice that Bodarc Flats is kinda long. In fact, very long. To be specific, a half-mile long. So this trail won't be finished in a day. The next step is to mow, which for some reason I lost the footage of. But I just brought my push mower and mowed it until the mower was on its lowest setting. But nevertheless, now we have a trail. We're done. I love riding mowed grass trails.
Said no one ever?
You're right. Simple mowed grass trails just aren't that fun to ride. We need to find a way to take it from this to something more like this. Now, this is Kansas sod. They built houses out of this stuff, and believe me when I say, it is tough. So we can't just rake it and be done. And we can't just scrape it with a shovel. So I think it's time to bring in some help. Hear that? That is the sound of a whole lot of work just made easier. And this is the real deal. A full-size tiller, not some tiny little thing. Okay, so it breaks up sod just fine. No surprise there. Now all we have to do is till up a whole bunch of trail. But the problem is, what do we do with all the dirt I just tilled up? My first inclination was just to leave it, rake it, and wait for the rain to smooth it out and the sun to harden it, but that didn't provide a good riding surface at all. I just tilled it, and now what I'm doing is I'm raking all the extra clumps that I don't want because I want it to be smooth up, putting them in this wheelbarrow, then dumping them over there where I want to put a jump. And basically, I just don't want this to get wet and then dry all lumpy, because that would not be good. So that's my plan. First I rake the dirt into one long pile in the center. Then I divide it up into smaller piles. And last, I come by and scoop it up into the wheelbarrow. This solution seems to work pretty well for me, and it even gives me a load of excess dirt that I can use later to form jumps. So I spent the next week finishing up the rest of the trail. After I got a section of trail finished, I came back with the rake to smooth it over. Using this method of raking, scooping, dumping, and smoothing, I finished about 1/8 of a mile of trail in 2 weeks. This seems like not very much, but I was interrupted by rain and other things which made it impossible to work entirely some days. But despite all our setbacks and the fact that we are still less than half of the way to our destination, we still have 1/8 of a mile of trail we didn't have yesterday. So let's drop a beat and ride this thing. I hope you found this video entertaining, if not helpful. If you did, drop a like. Next week we'll begin building our first feature, so subscribe so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, now get out there and find your flow.